Alright, fine. Let's run it back one last time.
Triple kill in for Gala Ming. Spoon fed him all of that gold. And
yo, I'm 1v1ing the Vayne. She just burned heal. Yo, I'm fucking 1v1ing the Vayne, dude. Ow!
Come on, Dunger.
Death, what the hell? Gets a triple kill, gets a quadra, gets the pentakill.
I don't have my reroll.
Okay. This is so dumb. Why is it working? Oh shit.
Oh shit, what up?
Everyone knows that the Russian jeeps drive faster than American jeeps.
Tries to clean it up for Ryu. Oh, look at the cleanse, look at the moves. Faker, what was that?
Have you ever heard of the term Nuzlocke? A Nuzlocke challenge is a player-created unofficial way to make Pokemon games significantly harder by following self-imposed rules. Think of it as the hardcore mode for Pokemon games. The most common rules in a challenge like this is that you can only capture the first encountered Pokemon, fainted Pokemon are considered permanently dead, and nicknames are mandatory. Now, how would this translate to a League of Legends Nuzlocke challenge? Well, the core rules are quite similar. You would start with a fresh account, you would have champion permadeath, which means every defeat you would have to lock the champion out and you're not allowed to play it anymore, and you would have to obviously nickname every champion. This sort of Nuzlocke League of Legends challenge has been done before, most famously by Ross Boomsocks on YouTube, but to my knowledge he has never finished it, or the goal that he had set was never reached. With that in mind, let's tackle the rule set for our very own Nuzlocke challenge. To start, we will play fill only. No role selection, no declared roles. The goal is to reach Diamond, as that has been a milestone that I have personally never reached. Ideally, we would play every champion at least once, and naturally, because we don't condone toxicity, any suspension will result in a game over. As mentioned before, the core of the Nuzlocke challenge is that if you lose, you lock out the champion. Thus, if by any chance we lock all champions, that also results in a game over. Now, it wouldn't be a thematic Nuzlocke challenge without adding our own rule, and this rule tackles champion selection, with what we call the unsealed spellbook champ rotation. Now, what is this unsealed spellbook talk? I would love to have Polypuff describe for us what unsealed spellbook does.
If you want to swap to a summoner spell you previously used, you have to first go through 3 different summoner spells before having access to the same one.
Thank you, Polypuff. So, using that logic, if I were to play Thresh, I would first have to play 3 other champions in any roles before I could pick Thresh again. In order to not make the challenge completely impossible, we'll give ourselves a little leeway. Upon scoring an active 5-game win streak, we will gain 1 champion buyback point to revive any of the champions that we've locked out. Now, I have played this game for a very long time, more than a decade as a matter of fact. As such, playing such a long time has allowed me to collect all 171 champions. That means I have 171 possible defeats, maybe pushing 180 if by any chance we score those consecutive wins that I've mentioned. Now let's talk briefly about the scheduling of this challenge. It will start on August 1st and end on December 9th, which is the expected end of Split 3 2025 season. We'll play anywhere from 3 to 4 days a week, with 2 to 3 games a day, which we will live stream on our YouTube channel. Every week we'll upload a video detailing the games that we've played throughout the session, with the occasional days off for resting, other projects, or just having a good time. The recommended starting point is Bronze 1. We will start our challenge in Bronze 2 92 LP. From Bronze to Diamond is a very long way, but we're confident that I will at the very least get close enough. Now, without further ado and no more yapping, let us get immediately into the games. Okay, dude, first game. For the first game back, we're playing Jarvan the 4th, a comfort pick of mine. Sadly, our mid laner overcommits at level 1, which slows us down.
Oh my god, bro.
No worries, after clearing 2 camps, we move bot lane for some much deserved payback. The enemy Caitlyn burns her summoners and dies anyway, with Lulu taking the kill.
I get the kill.
Our Mel keeps getting herself into sticky situations. Diana enters my jungle and a skirmish begins, with the enemy Xin Zhao soon showing up to the party. The fight goes well to start, but greed on my behalf causes us to overcommit, giving 2 precious kills to the enemy players.
Oh,
On respawn, Yorick sets up a gank nicely, and we score a kill on the enemy Warwick despite his barrier.
sweet.
But the victory is short-lived as, once again, I fall victim to my greed and decide to invade the low-health Xin Zhao. I trade 1 for 1, giving another kill to the enemy Diana.
I am like super rusty in the shows.
I move bot again, knowing that Caitlyn is without flash, and trade 2 for 1, with Kai'Sa taking 1 kill and my swag flag securing the other. After the successful gank, I make a play for dragon, but the timer is wrong, and that leads to my death and the enemy securing the dragon. A little later, Yorick gets ganked by Diana. I am too late to save him, but catch the mid laner as she retreats, landing a fat shutdown. Overconfident in my strength, I engage recklessly in top lane, thinking it's easy kills. Spoiler, it wasn't. With the action now shifting to the mid lane, we score several kills as our team is in preparation for the dragon. However, yet again, we overstay our welcome and lose 3 players as the dragon spawns. The enemy Xin Zhao secures the second dragon. In response, I rotate topside for the herald, then mid into a fight. Nothing worth of notice happens outside of the aforementioned herald, knocking down the enemy tier 1 mid tower. Our mill seems to be caught often, but we collapse as a team and kill the enemy bot lane, handing Kai'Sa Caitlyn's shutdown gold and securing the 3rd dragon. We move to mid lane for yet another skirmish, picking off the Rakan and costing him his ultimate. But our team is disjointed and ignorant while flanking Diana. I do not have the damage to kill her and die trying. My team overextends mid and gets collapsed, leading to an almost ace and the Baron play for the enemy team. I try to contest, but Diana is far too strong for me to withstand. The enemy secures Baron, marches down into our base and methodically destroys our towers and our nexus. Jarvan the 4th has perished, and we move on to the next game.
Unfortunately, Jarvan immediately goes.
The second game has us playing Thresh. Our team is much more proactive this time around. We spot Shaco attempting to invade, and we send 4 people to collapse.
Nice.
The well-aimed hook finds the enemy Caitlyn moments later.
Lantern, lantern, lantern.
I can't believe it's 2025 and people still don't click the lantern. This game turned out to be a roaming masterclass. Lissandra was not placing down her wards, and when she did, I managed to avoid getting spotted.
Perfect, good romp.
Our Talon was picking up what I was putting down, following my return trips to bot lane for easy ganks on the immobile enemy.
Okay.
We ended up going back and forth several times between mid lane and bot lane, and scoring kills every trip. So much so that soon enough the enemy AD carry had enough.
Oh no.
I would say more interesting things about this game, but the reality is that it was a stomp from start to finish. The enemy players were disheartened by the direction of the match.
What?
Possibly even flaming their bot lane.
Super overkill.
Soon enough, the surrender vote is passed and we're declared victorious.
GG.
The win is
GG.
enough to bump us to bronze 1, 18 LP. Thank you, Trash. Game 3 has us back in the jungle, this time on the bull riding Sejuani. The match starts very slow for us, with the first gank coming almost 10 minutes in. After killing our Freljordian rival, we secure the dragon and move on. The enemy Talon is a little too zesty and Malzahar gets to shout at him whilst we whack his head in with our Morningstar. The space disease finishes the job. The enemy Kayn is equally as zesty. We catch him trying to steal our red, we smite it back and claim 367 gold for our trouble. We spy with our little eye an assassin heading down bot lane and we pull an Uno reverse card on him. Despite the whiffed ultimate, the pressure allows us to secure dragon. As we try to base, Talon comes back for seconds and we send him back to his base.
Oh shit.
Well, that was awkward as hell. Almost as awkward as the fight we pick in my red side jungle. Now watch this. Hod save. Kayn continues to run at us like a headless chicken, but the real problem is the set, which obliterated our top laner, Tryndamere. Luckily for as long as we keep him stunned, we can deal with him. We catch the Kayn yet again doing sketchy stuff in my jungle, which leads to us securing the Atakan. The problem comes soon after when we discover truly how strong the set is. That's why we have to keep him stunned. Later we start a fight at Dragon. Malzahar suppresses Kayn with his ultimate, which allows us to secure the Dragon. The fight is a resounding success, killing 3 players and losing none on our team. I made the call for the Baron, but sadly the area of effect damage puts us in a very awkward spot. My redemption attempt doesn't go any better with Kayn winning the smite fight. The enemy team marches down mid with the Baron and takes down the inhibitor, but we kill 3 in return. The following Dragon fight is for Soul Point. Talon sacrifices his life for the Scuttle Crab and we win the smite fight securing Dragon Soul, but we find out how strong the enemy set actually is. With the game this tight, we score a 4-4-0 right as the Elder Dragon spawns.
Nice.
We march down mid for the enemy inhibitor and then across the map for an uncontested Baron as well. It's our game to lose. At this point so late in the game, one mistake can cost you a fortune. We dance immaculately with the enemy despite being in a 4v5, allowing our Tryndamere to take the top inhibitor. Despite that, we lost quite handily the fight for the second Elder Dragon. The enemy takes our own mid and top inhibitors and now we're hanging in perfect balance. One mistake means game over.
Oh no. Yeah, he's dead as fuck.
The enemy collects Baron, uses the remnants of the Elder Dragon to beat us down, and we're handed the loss. Sad game for Sejuani. Game 4 has us returning on support and playing Leona. I persuade my team to do one of my favorite cheeses, and Spear Shot is kind enough to reward my boldness by face checking the bush. My roams on support are on point, catching the enemy Cassiopeia off guard, burning her flash, handing a kill to our mid lane Mel, and getting a dragon off of it. We continue abusing the Cassiopeia, especially now that she has no flash, but the attempted dive on Rat IRL doesn't go as well. Flash abusers, am I right? I pick a fight with the Rat, thinking that we have the advantage, but my negligence in checking his items cost my Caitlyn her life. Rakan tries to get more, but one smooth sidestep later, we turn the tide of the engagement. That earns us a second dragon. I catch a timing with our Viego coming bot lane and engage. Twitch escapes, but we get the Rakan and the bot tower for our troubles. As we move mid, I try to catch the Twitch, but surprise surprise, he abuses the flash summoner spell. We get the Rakan, and Twitch seems not to notice the large herald appearing nearby. Viego comes out of his mist and we kill the rat, destroying the tower, and I take the herald for some drifting. Maybe I need some driving lessons with this thing. With the third dragon up, I look for an engage, finding the enemy Pantheon and starting a team fight. We kill 3 and lose only the Viego, giving us the window to slowly but surely claim the third dragon and the cross-map Atakan. I decide to look for the Snake Lady in bot lane and avoid her petrifying gaze. Pantheon comes in as well with his ultimate, but realizes he came into the wrong house like the fool he is. One Giga Blast cone after the other, he thinks he's out, until he lands in no-scope distance of the Caitlyn. As me and Viego are about to claim the Dragon Soul, the enemy surrenders, scoring us a win with Leona.
Well, that was easy.
Next up, we have an Amumu game. However, okay, so for this game, my initial plan was to play Vi in jungle, but our top laner was extremely salty and sad and everything. So I decided to swap into Amumu as it benefits against the team combo. Casson is not having the best of times in mid lane, so I chose to give him some breathing room. Sadly, the Mel trades 1 for 1, putting our mid laner even further behind. The enemy Ornn pushes to the tower without a ward, and the combo Amumu Vi quickly dispatches of him. The Mel takes a trip bot lane and I follow, locking her down and taking her out. I can get a dragon for my troubles. We catch a timing on the enemy support as she tries to ward. Mel is caught in the crossfire, and we feed the kill to our already fed Smolder. Across the map, Vi and Ornn are in a close fight. Thankfully, a well-placed bandage toss saves my top laner and rewards the enemy top laner with a trip to the fountain and a grey screen. Another dragon later was thrown into bot lane, catching the enemy Kai'Sa for being too pushed up. The curse of the sad mummy hands her over to our baby dragon, with an additional Senna fed into his jaws. However, there's a looming feeling.
Okay, this is like almost the same as the Sejuani game, and I'm like not here for it. This is the same as the Sejuani game, dude. Holy moly.
I eagerly decide to test my limits, and despite it being close, it's not close enough.
Oh no.
With the 4th dragon coming up, I walk into the enemy jungle for some vision and... Not only will we lose the dragon, but as we make a play to set up Baron, our Vi decides to sell me out for a wave.
Hey.
So Somehow the Velvet outscales my entire team into oblivion. It doesn't help them I feed myself to her on a silver platter. Oh. That, combined with the Baron secured by the enemy team, turns out to be the final nail in the coffin. Amumu is sent to the Shadow Realm alongside with my LP. It's the Sejuani game all over, oh my god. Well. In game 6 I pick Vi and thankfully I don't have to trade her to anyone. The enemy's Malzahar support is caught out and killed for first blood. But that false sense of security is shattered as I find a troll in my jungle, my blue buff missing, and I have to burn my flash to survive. I redeem myself a little later by taking an easy kill on the low health Gnar. As I try to observe the enemy Akali as she returns to mid lane, I inadvertently stand on a ward which ends up costing my life. No worries, there's a Gnar top to feel better about myself and, despite missing my flash Q, Vi's ultimate is a point and click. The Trundle does kill me in return, but Kled trades my life for a kill of his own and double buffs to boot. The Akali makes a mistake with the second part of her ultimate and I get to give my Yasuo an easy kill. Sneakily rotating bot lane, I help put down Malzahar and chase after the low health Vayne. Sadly, she lives as Akali shows up, and she hurts. No worries, there's a dragon to make me feel better. Sometime later, Kled and Trundle are beefing over a blue buff. Akali wants to help, but me and Yasuo take her life. And the Herald as the cherry on top. After a quick trip top lane to help our cantankerous commander against the prehistoric Yordle, we stumble into a really messy dragon fight. Deaths everywhere on both teams, and despite it all, we lose the fight. But not the dragon. We decide to make a play for the enemy tier 2 mid lane tower, but fail to account for the enemy's chasing power. We not only get caught, but lose our own tier 1 mid tower, 3 players in exchange for 1, and the Atakan soon after. With the larger fight starting on the bottom side of the map, I go on my own side quest and eliminate the Vayne out of the equation. The follow-up skirmish doesn't go as well, with my team getting aced and the enemy Trundle securing the dragon. We get a pick on an overextended Malzahar and decide to risk it all on the Baron, with no smite on my part. We secure the worm, but the ensuing fight is bad by all standards. With our Varus and Maokai near bot lane and the enemy Akali and Trundle pushing our top lane inhibitor, I make the call for my teammates to get the dragon whilst I try slowing down the enemy push. I proudly give my life for the dragon and the 1000 gold shutdown carry by Trundle, which Yasuo claims. At this point we've seen this movie 3 previous times. It all comes down to this Baron fight. And that's all she wrote. Just happy to win a game as the jungler. The 7th game has me playing Renekton top lane. Our Shaco hovers top and we decide to dive Set. The execution is immaculate. 3 minutes later, me and Set engage into an entertaining scuffle, where I come out victorious. Sadly, the enemy Shyvana is in the area and I lose my life in return. Shaco comes up for revenge, but he takes so long that I don't even get an assist. Eventually, the wave starts pushing back into me. I decide to apply some Fantamentos and freeze it near my tower. Set is virtually out of the game. Now, allow me to show you what the top lane experience is all about. Our mid laner and support appear top lane for a very messy and confusing fight. We get the Set and eventually the Shyvana, and I fall to the enemy Azir despite having ultimate and flash available. I even have time to come back and help kill the enemy support. Set and Shyvana are unhappy about it, and I do my best to fend off the dive, trading 1 for 1 and almost getting the Dragon Lady as well. With my team doing this well, the name of the game for me was to run top lane and put as much pressure on the enemy. It wasn't always successful, but repetition is key. I helped secure the Atakan and the dragon, returning top lane to be a pest. Set and Vel'Koz are sick and tired of my bullying and want retribution. Maybe next time. I must say I feel a little bad for the setup of the game. He finished with a scoreline of 0, 14 and 3. One Baron later, the 3 most fed members on our team decide to run down the set. Poor guy. One Dragon later, it's finally time for us to put the final touches on this game and break down their base. Never thought myself as a successful top laner, but the win promotes us out of bronze and into silver 4 8 LP. We return to the jungle with Rammus. Yet again, questionable choices at level 1 and the scuffle results in even deaths on both sides. We walk away with 1 kill or 1 assist. The plan was to get level 2 and run bot for a kill and feats of warfare. Sadly our Soraka dies first, but my arrival is timely, granting my Yunara 2 kills and a ton of gold to snowball. Despite losing the dragon, I continue to pressure bot lane, catching the enemy Briar as she was about to gag. The extended fight results in Yunara getting 2 kills, the enemy Pyke being trapped under his barely living tower and eventually handing the new AD carry yet another kill. Briar hops in to attempt a dragon steal, in which she succeeds. Not a problem. She, Samira and Pyke pay with their life, even though we lose Soraka in the fight. At this point my bot lane is so fed that I don't need to come anymore. Instead I give my Gangplank some love by helping him with the enemy Urgot and giving him a herald for his troubles. Afterwards, I sort of just go down the map, stopping mid lane to send the enemy Vladimir to his fountain, and then bot lane to give Urgot the same treatment. As we begin taking the dragon, a teamfight starts. We do our best to peel the super fed Yunara, and our efforts are rewarded with the AD carry scoring a double, securing the dragon, and stopping the Urgot from cashing in the huge shutdown. Our mid lane Katarina is also putting in tons of work, and was overall a pretty chill dude despite accidents. Oh. Our carries ended up being that fed that the enemy's only remaining option was surrender. Okay. For our 9th game we pick Poppy and invade early despite being spotted. The Samira gets caught out, slammed her face into the wall with her flash and gives us first blood. Despite our Lucian having to disconnect and reconnect due to internet problems, we're the better players, punishing the repeated engagements from the higher level enemies. Sadly, Lucian dies in the end, but our lead is growing more and more. Our Ivern wisely hovers the bot lane, helping me and Lucian bully the bullies into a grey screen. The repeat gang only consolidates our lead, with Samira committing for the kill, dying trying, and Ivern landing a beautiful max range Q on the escaping Leona. We were that confident in our strength that we decided to try and cut the Samira off from the lane. The move turned into a dive, which we survived handily. The enemy Jarvan finally comes to his bot lane's aid, but we're too far gone for him to pose a threat. But eventually, Icarus's wings burned in the sun as they were fragile and made out of wax. That's 2 shutdowns right there. Now, for some reason, the enemy bot lane decides that it's smart to do the dragon unprotected. That ends up going as well as you'd expect. We get them both, then secure the dragon for ourselves. Let me show you some Ivern tag. Wait. After that herald and another dragon, I run to Ivern's aid as he's engaging the Birdman. After taking down Azir, we follow Leona down to the bot lane, where we find her and Jarvan presumably plotting to take the Atakan. We take their life, start the Atakan for ourselves, get rudely interrupted by the Samira, secure the Atakan, secure the Baron, and secure the Nexus a little later. For the 10th and final game, we're back on Thresh, as we've satisfied the spellbook rule. Our invade catches the enemy Morgana hanging out in the river bush and granting us first blood. It was then that the Morgana took that personally. Now I'll try to keep this short as we've been at it for quite a bit now. Despite my best efforts to get our misfortune ahead, the enemy Jinx was always ever so slightly ahead herself. We stayed even in kills as a team throughout the duration of the game, landing successful ganks, hooks, and pressuring our enemy laners throughout the laning phase. But somehow, someway, we were bleeding gold little by little. At first it was unnoticeable amounts, but eventually, despite our repeated kills and perceived victories, we were losing ground and power when compared to the enemy team. Despite it all, nothing we did felt satisfactory. Even the pretty hooks and key picks were not yielding the results we wanted.
Can I outplay this? No. Oh, we are not chasing. It's still a really even game kill-wise, but on the map we've like lost everything. Like really everything.
We didn't secure a single objective as a team. The only one was Singed, who
Oh,
whittled
yo.
down the top tower until he took it down.
Kill the Renekton. No, kill his ass. We're just losing so much on the map. It started so well, we're just losing so much.
The Atakan was claimed by the enemy Zac. Even when we caught out the very slippery and very fed Kiana, we ended up getting run over 4v5. And losing our base and Nexus.
Sag. Sagimus Maximus.
Nonetheless, Thresh has been banished now. Goodbye, sweet prince.
Oh well.
That concludes our placement games. I don't care what the youth says nowadays. Back in my day, you had to play 10 games to get your rank. We ended this first session with a record of 6 wins and 4 losses. We must say our farewells to Jarvan IV, Sejuani, Amumu, and Thresh. Despite it all, we advanced 2 divisions from Bronze 2 to Silver 4. Let's see what the next games have in store for us, but that won't happen until next time. Good game, well played.